When I look at Kaycee now, it's just karma. Like, I really hope karma comes your way.
What up, movie disciples and good people of YouTube? I go by Brian, the movie messiah, and this is our review for MTV The Challenge Double Agents, episode 18, part 1 of the final, which I didn't want. I thought I was getting a whole episode, but they broke it down into two parts. So here we are, and joining me as always on the mission is my sister Brittany. So let's kind of recap, real quick, who we thought was going to take this all since we're already into the final. Who did you say last week? Do you remember who you said last week was going to win? I believe.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember who you said. I said I'm hoping, and I think I said I'm going. I think I said both. Hope and who should Leroy.
Yeah, you did.
I believe I said Leroy. Yeah.
And you also have to have a woman since there's a men and women's doing.
I think I messed up and was assuming it was going to be based off partners. So I think I said Leroy and Nani.
Okay.
But I said it could on a whim. I do remember, I believe I said Cam if it's not partner. I said it might be crazy, even though they're a couple. It could possibly be Leroy and Cam. That's who I went with.
Right. Okay. And you said you remember who I said. Who did I say?
You said CT and Cam.
I did.
That was going to win.
And right now, I'm looking pretty good. I don't want to put the cart before the horse and I'm excited, but we'll get into that into a second. It starts off them in the Club Rona, but found out that Nani called it the Ice Dome, which I guess isn't a bad name. They probably didn't want to call it Club Rona or Club COVID or Club Bubble like we did. So Ice Dome, kind of works. And we cut away. This is like the first time I guess everybody's kind of like excited with too much strategy going on. Everybody's all right, we're getting to the final.
Good times. Popping bottles, champagne. We here. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Good times or good moment.
Yes. And then we cut to the ladies gathering around, and Cam was like, we're doing this. I'm glad it's about a diverse bunch of people, especially women. So, initially I was like, our producer's asking her to keep saying this, but, maybe she's just feeling this way, which I don't blame. Shout out to her. I guess it is big, especially on MTV and the challenge. So, shout out to her and everybody else getting down, making it happen. And we also, there's some good editing where we see that Cam was looking over and Kaycee and Fessy were chopping it up like, yo, we're gonna kill this tomorrow. And Cam was like, "Oh, word, this is how you feeling?" Everybody's getting a little cocky.
Like she has just supersonic hearing. I don't know, but all I thought when I look at Kaycee now is just karma. Like, I really hope karma comes your way. They're just talking, and then she's all like, "What did Cam say?" She said something like, "Maybe Fessy's arrogance rubbed off." And you said maybe because really this whole season, Kaycee hasn't even been talking like that. Like, you're really feeling yourselves like we're in it, we're gonna win it. Everybody thinks that we're like the ones to beat, and I was like, yeah, not everyone. Because personally, I really don't think y'all are all that. Honestly, you're okay, but y'all aren't that great. So I'm just like, y'all are really feeling yourselves right now. It's just like, yeah.
You might have said it best. Well, you kind of alluded to it. Karma is coming back, and I think Cam said that Kaycee sounded like the female Fessy. Talking big stuff, and
definitely was.
Might come back and bite them in the butt as we see later on in the episode. So Cam has her eyes on that, and Fessy and Corey are chopping up over there, and Corey's like, yeah, man, I'm glad I got you here. But same time, like Corey's like, I ended up like, I'm waiting for some revenge, like all summer 16 playing that Drizzy in the background. Like, I was like, you know what? I love this because that's some stuff I would have done. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get you here so I can beat your ass.
Yeah, it was pretty much like a frenemies moment, and Fessy was just, blindsided to it. And I just love.
He's not blindsided because he doesn't know about it. He won't know about it until you watch the episode.
I guess not. But I'm just like, he's just, I guess, naive to the fact, like, oh, we're all good, brushing under the rug. We're cool. I did that to Nelson, but we're all good now. Corey's just like, yeah, we're good. But I didn't forget. So when it boils down to it, I'll stab you later.
Yes. I'm like, it's time for this money. And I dig every part of that. Okay. I'm like, yeah, man. take them out when it's time to take them out. Like you took out Nelson early. All right, I'm gonna take you out right when you think you're close to winning it.
Exactly. And just the most Corey has made sense because he said pretty much he used me, I used him. I'm like, I'm glad that we used each other to get where we need to go. I'm like, that's so true. Like we're not even really friends. We just used each other.
Right. CT and Amber, chopping it up for a quick bit. And CT's like, laying out the game plan. It's like, I'll give you this. I'm like, you're great in endurance and you got some strength to you. So I'm like, that's gonna work out. And I remember, like I think I said the last episode when she was running, she was in first place. The episode before that.
Yeah, she was the whole way.
I was like, I know it might be a short distance now, kind of huddled up, but she's in first, and
she was holding him down.
Yeah, I'm like, it could be something, it could be nothing. I'm like, okay, well, this could prove to be something later on. I guess CT probably saw that during the mission, and
he just has that eye.
And then Amber might be the second most positive person behind Big T on this. Initially, I was like, Amber isn't boring, but she's like, all right, but I'm warming up a whole lot more towards Amber at the end. Like, I guess she finally got
more like it's the B for black, for bold,
big balls, Amber, big balls.
Oh,
there we go, girl.
No about balls. But I mean, he just has that eye. He just sees stuff, and it's true. Like she kind of has that hungriness in her, so I think he can definitely read that. Like she's new, she got to prove herself. Anytime you have those things in you, this student, it's going to push you to, do it more. So I was banking and hoping maybe that'll help her, but I'm not gonna lie, she's definitely the underdog, or so far she was definitely in my eyes.
Yeah,
I don't know. Surprise, we'll see.
So next days, time for the final, start the final, and it's revealed a 2-part 2-day final, which I kind of figured it was.
Yep.
And then we lay out the money. He's like, first place $900,000, second place is $100K, and the third place is $0, and fourth place you ain't making it because you ain't making it A2. And I mean, I knew, I had a feeling, I was like, they're gonna cut somebody. Good feeling about that. But third place, $0.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off. I was like, usually when you have third place, you get something. I mean, it's quite diddly, but you get something. And I definitely was like going back and watching Bloodlines and stuff. And I'm like, they had the ranks where you would still get something, but $3, you might as well lose and go home. Like, I don't think anybody wants to have that place.
$0.
Everybody just looked like.
I'm like, here's the thing, my second place. With taxes, you're cutting it down.
Still gonna be
you're cutting down with $50,000 for each person, and then with taxes, probably $30,000 for each person. So I mean, you could, I guess, get a new car, maybe a house, depending on where you're living at.
Help pay some debt, but you're definitely not gonna have.
Yeah, that
100,000 compared to 900. You can tax me all you want. I'm still gonna have something. I want that, and $450,000 a person. Tax me, whatever. I'm still gonna have something. Give me.
Well, either way, third place is rough. I'm like, hey, you
third
completed
place is no place.
You got hard, but man. So, we cut away to my dude Leroy. Leroy getting emotional. I was like, I'm like, man, Leroy, my man Leroy to win this because he knows the end. Like letting everything know. I'm like, he got emotional in the interview. I'm like,
I got emotional. I was just like. It's rare that you see someone crying, especially with Leroy. He has been in the game for so long. So for him to get emotional, I really felt it. Like I was connected. I was like, this literally is probably his last season. And he just wants it. Like, I'm trying to go out with a bang. And I feel him. Like, might as well. Last season, let's do it.
Might as well, yes. So, like the first one, first part of the checkpoint is 3-mile run. And they're in the end of a hurricane over a bunch of like hilly rocks in Iceland. Like the weather isn't too bad. And that leads to the checkpoint of the hill, the capsule puzzle, which we see later on when TJ pulls up. But all these hills and rocks, I'm like, it's not as cold. I mean, it looks cold, but it's not as cold as I thought it was going to be. So I'm like, man, like Fessy might have an advantage, like he was saying, because it's not. He wasn't trekking on a mountain like he was last season. So I'm like,
So he said this was definitely like up his field, which you could see because he was leading the pack. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, AKA your partner Kaycee, you're literally leaving her like So
that was some great editing by them, because he's leaving her in the backpack like he usually does to all his other partners like done before, just taking off. And it's showing that he might be pushing her a little too hard. And then you see like Corey, Nani, I believe Cam as well, like, yo, I'm like, Fessy doing his thing, just leaving Kaycee behind. Some good editing.
Just screaming, come on, catch up. Let's go.
And then, but you have on the opposite side, you have Leroy, with Nani. It's like, hey, like, let's I got you. Let's go. You're doing great. Feed her positive energy.
It was awesome.
Positive energy.
It was night and day. They showed what not to do versus what to do. And I love Leroy was just like, I'm not going to yell at her. I'm not going to scream her. I'm not going to leave her. I'm going to keep at her pace and keep doing like what she's doing to keep up with her. And I'm like, that's smart. Because you never want like your partner to panic or you leaving them in dust, because it's both of y'all. So I was like, Leroy, you are the best leader ever, best partner. I was like, oh, Leroy.
Same time I'm looking at Nani, I'm like, this is why I kind of had Nani in the back a little bit, my rankings all the time. So I'm like, yo, Nani, her running. I'm like,
Nani, I need some more endurance.
Endurance, strength, a lot of it. I'm like, this.
Yeah, she was kind of trailing off. I get it. Maybe she was trying to pace herself because it was 3 miles. They didn't even make mile yet. Yeah. Fessy was trying to go gun ho, and I'm like, it's only mile 1. Slow down.
And CT did say he was like, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and I saw CT is super well rounded with everything. Yeah, Fessy just taking off, but so they all finally get there, but Amber arrives first, CT right behind, and then was it Corey? Was it Fessy? No, it was Fessy.
It was Kaycee. Fessy, yeah.
And then
CT and Amber, Corey and Cam, and then Leroy and Nani.
You said that wrong, but okay. Like I said, Amber and CT arrived first. Amber's first. That's why at the end. That's why she got the.
Did they arrive to? You right. Yeah, they did arrive to checkpoint first. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know why I thought Fessy.
They all get there pretty much. I won't say around the same time, but either way, Amber and CT are in first. So TJ pulls up, and he's like, "Okay, did the challenge at the beginning of the season. Got grab the thing and put the little things in a detonator." And it's pretty much all that brawl going there, trying to find it, to look at the numbers. And I love that CT and Fessy was going at it again. CT was like, quote of the week for me, quotes of the week. I'm gonna show you what a lion is. Yeah. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Let him know. Let's go.
I was like, gave me reminiscence of the old CT. I was like, yeah, he might be up there, but he's a champ for a reason. I'm like, come on, like,
and like, I mean, and Leroy was even saying, he's like, this is the only person I don't want in the final, and I don't want to win, because he's good at everything, and he's smart, he's strong, he's fast, it's great, great with puzzles, and he put it in first, and I was like, in my head, I was like, it's between, I said it, I was like, it's between CT, Corey, Leroy, and then Fessy, and then sure enough, CT pulled it out. Got the win, even though he went back and fought with Fessy for a second. I was like, okay, like they take one.
Got it. Yeah, I definitely thought Corey, his photographic memory and everything, but I'm like, CT, puzzles, anything that's memorized and all that, he's good as well. So it's kind of like, you're right, neck and neck.
Yeah, and then we get to the women's heat, and then. I think when Amber grabs it first, all of a sudden, dog pile on Amber. I'm like, oh no, but
right. Who said it's almost like welcome to the challenge? Like welcome to the final. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely bring you to the final for real. Like,
but maybe worked out her advantage because she was down there the longest and got to see it. And I mean, it wasn't. It was a lot of like back and forth. In my head, I thought it was between Cam
and
Amber, and then I thought maybe a toss up between Kaycee and Nani.
Really? But I don't know. For some reason Kaycee kept going back and forth, so I really thought it was between Cam and Kaycee. And something about her going back and forth, I was like, oh, maybe she's like really close. So it might be Kaycee.
I mean, the way they were showing it. Yeah, I was like, but when she went first, I was like, you know what? Kaycee honestly hasn't proven from what I've seen on the show that she has a great memory and maybe isn't like that sharp, like smarts wise a little bit. Like
Kaycee, not sorry.
So I'm looking like, does she have this? And they checked. I was like, she don't got it. I was like, she ain't got it. And Kim went over.
He was like, nah, incorrect. I was like, oh,
so what I do wrong? I'm like, and all of a sudden, when they showed Amber, I was like, she about to win this. I think she got this. And all of a sudden, check, she won. I was like, CT
This is my
and
face.
Amber.
I was like, wasn't expecting that. She was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, girl, I'll be jumping up and down too. I said, the moment she won, the game changed because I did not put her in the spot that she was in. And the fact that they were literally both first place and both got the checkpoint, yeah, the game changed for me. I was like, the ratings are different. Like, you are not at the bottom tier anymore. So
Yes, yeah, we'll get to that at the end. So I'm like, I don't know if they may probably like switched it up on the spot, but it was like, yeah, you know, Amber B is like the top one. And I was thinking, I was like, is she? And I was like, I guess, you know, maybe she finished the puzzle faster, or well, you know,
nope.
the detonator faster, and then she did beat CT to like, you know, the hill. So I'm like,
right. She was telling him to come on. He was like, do not yell at me. I'm like, what?
but I mean, he's probably saying that, you know, trying to be funny. Like, I bet he was feeling pretty good. Like, as long
yeah,
as
he
she's
was like
keeping
right
up,
there.
like, yeah. So I think he's, you know, being facetious when he was saying that. But I'm like, she was the top one, and you know, twisting, it was like, all right, you can change your partner. I'm looking like,
this one got lose.
what,
But
okay,
honestly,
would you change it? Would you change the partner? That's
definitely
the
not.
question.
Right in my mind, I was just like, if you change your partner, I feel it's stupid to go to Fessy. Okay. Come on, I'm sorry, no. Corey, yeah, he's great and all, but CT, like you said, he's well-rounded. He's a champ winner. He's been to the final. He can do it all. Why would I change? And we've already had first place checkpoints and everything. No, I was just like, if you change, it will be stupid.
So, okay. Side note, can you stop doing that? Because I definitely put that in the edit last week where I was like, why is she slapping on the table? This is not loving hip hop, fam. Stop banging on the table. Anyway, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, why would you change? I'm like, you just won the first checkpoint. I'm like, he's established, he's a winner. I'm like, I wouldn't see. Only person I would change for is Leroy. I wouldn't change with Corey.
Yeah.
And, I would, you know, if I would. That's how I change Leroy, give him an advantage. But I'm like, he already won, so there's no point. I was like, she changed, she's crazy. I'm definitely not going with Fessy. Like, he's not having a meltdown.
Say that. I was just like, I say, here you go again with your ear. Oh, I mean, I did all of this. I was like, it is not about you. Nani's quote, like, it's not about you for the first time. Like, oh, she comes back to me. I was like, Fessy, no one wants you besides Kaycee. Nobody. Yeah. So he just.
I'm like, nobody think about that. So, you know, TJ, tells him like the next thing I do, but I realize it's win is whooping TJ's ass too. He's like, yeah, so next challenge.
Getting blown.
I was like, this win is no joke. Right. So he's like, next challenge is 2 miles to some keys and then come back like I think half a mile or something like that to open up and do your favorite part in the challenge. Yeah. Some disgusting food.
Eat crap. Eat your testicles and all.
So they're on the way running back over some hills and stuff. Fessy's taking off as usual. The lead's kind of like back and forth between CT and Amber and Fessy and Kaycee, but I'm like, and I think that's when CT says, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
And then
Fessy was just sprinting, and I'm just like
taking off. I'm like, I feel like as long as you just stay right with it, probably like timing wise, but as long as you stay right with it and get a chance to compete in the second half of the checkpoint, or I guess where the checkpoint is, you got a good chance.
It's all about the checkpoints. Like, it doesn't matter how you start, it's the checkpoint. By the time, if you, like you said, near the end, you speed up and make it to the checkpoint first, that's a whole lot of time that you cut. So I'm just like, here's Fessy here. Kaycee's all the way here, like, oh, he's just like, sprint, let's go. Come on. I'm just like. Yeah.
And the rocks, and they did show it in the thing. I was like, this is where it's gonna go bad. And I was like, I didn't know how bad. So she takes a tumble. Yeah, everybody's like, oh man, like, are you okay? But still, like, I gotta go. And I would done the same thing. I've done that track. Oh man, you good, my dude? Bye. Sorry, man, I gotta go. Like, it's 400.
Part was like, there is $1 million on the line. Oh, I hope you're okay.
Same thing. CTCC was like, sorry, not sorry. Like, gotta get this money, baby. And we find out that Kaycee says her knee like popped. I'm like, maybe popped out of socket. I feel like it popped out of socket. Should have been, taken off the helicopter right then. Like, it's been over. But if it did, unless they popped back in place,
or something,
probably she probably.
But I mean, she did hit these jagged rocks, so I'm pretty sure all that hurt. Here's Fessy. I'm like, his what he said did not match his action.
Wait,
it's not about that.
I'm like, I got it for you. Fessy says, he's like, I'm not angry, I'm not sad, it's tough. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm like, you're not sad. I'm like, you think about yourself in the moment, which I can understand to a degree, but at the same time, like your girl's on the ground in pain, crying, like somebody who I feel probably doesn't cry that much in her life. I'm like, just taking a guess.
He's just next to her. You all right? You clearly not. I'm crying and wailing on these rocks. Like, help me, Fessy. And then it's like she's crying for the pain, but it's even more sad because she's really crying because she wants to continue. So it's how you know that she really has drive. So I give Kaycee that. Like,
yes, I mean,
take me home.
You know, it goes back to what you were saying about the karma. It's like, man, it's like this karma coming back for Fessy, and then like her kind of screwing over Leroy, having Leroy kind of lead the way, and her just riding. You know, I don't say riding, but you know, being in cahoots with waiting for this moment to happen to go with Fessy in the finals. But then like comes back, and by the same time, I feel bad because you know I don't want to see anybody get injured during this, and then she's writhing in pain, and then she's like trying to power through and continue to fight through it. So I'll get to the checkpoints, and CT and CT powering through. Leroy can eat, and then we got Corey and Cam going. She's like, eat the food. He's like, I am. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just excited.
That part was funny. She was like, I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. It's just nasty. It's too much right now.
Yeah, don't say what it is.
She was like, I don't eat. Corey doesn't eat. CT, this is in his realm. Like, he's the only one. Like, I eat this for breakfast. Bloody Marys. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I'm just like, this is nasty. I would try to do it, but this was really anyone's game. Well, slash CT. Like, this was time, especially for Leroy and Nany, I saw that you could really play catch up. Like, this did help them because Kaycee got hurt. Y'all were 4th place. Now you're in 3rd place. So maybe this could really help you, like, bring some time, cut some time down or something.
Yes. And, Kaycee, like, power through. She wraps her knee up, which I was shocked. I was like, okay, maybe not bad, but still mad, but still pretty bad. But then we see her, like, walking up, and, like, Fessy's trying to hold her, and, like, her knee gives way. I'm like, y'all this ain't looking good for y'all even make it a second to the next day. I'm like, this is not looking good at all. And, he gets over there, and I can see, like, Fessy's eyes, like, he's looking like, I see he's like, all right, I'm ready to quit because like she can't run. Running, like, why should I even eat? But at the same time, like, Fessy's like punked out with not eating. The same thing he did with the knee. So I'm like, Fessy got that quitter in his eyes. I'm like,
I'm just like, when things don't go his way, he's just like, nah, Talon, I'm done. I'm like,
exactly.
They just got me. She's literally chugging down this blood and eating this food. So I'm like, if she has no quit and she's not quitting, you should not quit until it's confirmed that y'all game is over. But he's just like, it's over. So I'm not going to eat these balls.
and Leroy's over there, pussy, like, eat it. It's like chicken. Like,
it's good. It's good.
I love it. And so, Fessy doesn't even want to, get into it. And then, CT and Amber B, they power through and they win the second one. I'm like, wow. I'm not trying to get too hyped, but I'm like,
goodness. Yeah, they're just murdering it. And not just CT. That's the crazy part. Both of them together are just like, who would have thought? Like,
yes.
Like, whoa.
And then, it gets down to after they win, TJ's like, all right, you got to sabotage a team. So the question is, who will they pick? That's first question. The second pick, like, who would you pick? So who do you think they're going to pick? Because it cuts away and shows like Kaycee's like, hey, we're already this match. I'm on one leg.
I know they're all pleading their case. It's just like, oh.
And they're both kind of Amber like, I don't know who.
Right. I don't know.
Amber's like, I hate Fessy. I'm like, continue to screw him over. And I feel like everybody's watching kind of now in the same place. Like, we all kind of hate Fessy together collectively. So like, screw them over. Let's not screw over Leroy.
But then Amber's like, oh, I'm cool with Kaycee. I'm cool with Cam and Nany. And it's like,
so, all right, who would they pick?
Honestly, who I think they should pick is really Fessy and Kaycee. I mean, besides the whole debacle and her falling and hurt herself before then, they were neck and neck. So it's like the one that's the close one cutting corners is really Fessy and Kaycee. And then it's Cam and Nany. Because Leroy made a point, he's like, we're already in last. Like, why pick us? And it's like, that is true. Like, they're in last.
You mean Cam and
I'm
Corey?
like, I mean, Leroy and Nani. I'm like, yeah, please don't pick them because they're in last place and I need them to come back and come closer. So I'm really hoping that they pick Fessy and Kaycee, and I hope that they don't have any guilt or feel bad because she like whatever dislocated her knee or something. I'm like, pick them.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, yeah. Obviously, if her knee wasn't banged up, that's the easy choice to make.
Yeah.
But maybe CT's a scumbag, so I'm like, I would like to think he would do that, just screw over Fessy, because like somehow if they could somehow continue to keep going, right? Because I feel like I saw in the next show, the preview for next episode, you could hear Kaycee, still going through. So I'm like,
yeah,
if somehow they get close or whatever, and like they can still end up switching partners, and you don't want Fessy to be over there, be close enough to win. So you could pick them, but I feel like he might screw over Cam and Corey because they're technically right behind them now since they're banged up. So that's what I would go with. I would screw them over.
Yeah, that's like a fair medium, I see.
Yeah, I'm like, because Nani and Leroy are in last.
Yeah, I'm just like, please don't put them any further. Like, please. I'm like, but yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They're like literally right there and kind of like the middle. So I could see that.
Before we get into picking who we think's gonna just make sure we sticking with our picks. Do we have a challenger of the week? Should we be a challenger of the week? I don't really think there. I mean, if there was one for me, it's Amber B. Yeah, again, Amber two weeks in a row.
I don't think she was mine last week, but I mean, she's changing my mind now. I'm just like bold, black, beautiful, all 3 Bs, all of them there. Like
Amber triple B.
She's showing stuff that I don't think people saw. Even Fessy like, oh man, I mean, she's coming in and she's doing pretty good. I'm like, no, she's doing great. She's been the leader of the pack. She won the checkpoint. Like she was in front of CT. Granted, he's probably pacing himself, but still, for her to be a rookie and how she's killing it right now, I'm sorry. And she was eating a testicle, so she has my vote. Go Amber B.
Amber B, challenger of the week, part 1 of the final. All right, are we sticking with our picks? I mean, I said CT. I mean, if there's still somehow, I think this is why initially when I phrased it the other week, it was like, who will win? I was like, it could be, they go individual ways at some point, or it could be, still be teams.
See,
but
now they do have 2 rankings now. Yeah.
So I'm still sticking with CT and Cam. Somehow Cam pulls us out for a man because Kaycee's banged up. I mean, unless Amber keeps on her journey, just like, hey, I'm the truth.
Are you saying Cam is going to win second place? Because now it's groups. It's not individual. When they win, they're going to win with their partner.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm like, they could still somehow like switch partners somehow at the end. Like, I'm not saying CT will leave Amber B. I'm just saying like, some weird partner stuff could happen. But what you're saying is right. Like it could just be partners. So if we're doing like that, then I'm still sticking with CT. So if I got CT in first place, I guess him and Amber B gonna pull this whole thing off.
Yeah, I mean, based off of how they did part 1, they literally murdered it. They're definitely in top rank. I gotta separate my wants and needs. So far, I am gonna have to change it now that we know it's ranking and it's first and second place. First place so far, I'm definitely gonna say CT and Amber B. But I still have hope. And I'm gonna say second place is Leroy and I because we have seen challenges that you could be in last place, and there has been winners. I can't think on top of my head, but you could be in last place, and that next day or whatever else it takes, it can swap in reverse. So I'm just like, you never know. And I mean, Nani knows, like she was lacking today with the endurance, but I really feel like depending on what they face, it can like turn around. So I'm hoping second. Because like we say, either way, like if he won, Cam kind of wins, they're together. So I mean it's kind of good in her eyes as well.
Right. Who doesn't make it to day 2?
Oh. Based off what happened now, I feel so bad for her, but I am really banking on Fessy and Kaycee. I'm like, please don't make it. Because I'm like, her knee, I don't know what's going on, but if they got run anymore, it's kind of over for her. unless she can get it fixed and they have, a part where they can go to sleep or something. I don't know.
Yes.
It's kind of looking like Fessy and Kaycee.
I mean, that's what we're hoping for. They're just messed up, but I mean,
and it depends if they get that dessert. They get that dessert.
But it's not looking good for Leroy and Nani.
No, it's not.
They're not looking good at all. They're in 4th place, and like I said, it depends on who they sabotage. Like you said, they're probably going to sabotage Kaycee and Fessy. I'm thinking that they might do it to Corey and Kansas closer, but I said CT's a scumbag, and why not keep her animal down? So we shall see, Mike.
Why CT?
I still got CT. Mike, this is why I had CT in first place the past 3 weeks. I feel good. He's gonna pull this off, and he's pulling some Tom Brady. So a while ago,
pretty much CT should not be in a final because it's going to be in his favor every time. Like there's no losing for CT.
Yeah, it's like he said he didn't want to be like the Dan Marino of the finals. Dan Marino was prolific thrower of the football, great quarterback, but he never got a chance to win. He said he wanted to be Tom Brady, and Tom Brady is having a fantastic run they say the tail end of his career, but he keeps somehow winning championships. So CT looks really good about this, pulling this off. So you guys, that is episode 18, part 1 of the final, which you didn't expect. What do you guys think? Who do you got winning this thing overall? Love to hear your thoughts down below. Definitely comment. Can't wait to see the next episode and who actually pulls this through. Holler at us on social media. Post comments over there. Chop it up with us on social media. And if you're enjoying what you're watching, please hit that like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell. For my sister Brittany, I am Brian, the movie Messiah. If you enjoyed what you're watching, cool. If you didn't, I'm sure we'll see you on the next mission. Base 5, let's ride.